This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Annie Hepburn, and today she is here to talk about Relay for Life. Good morning, Annie.
Good morning, Nancy. Thanks for having me.
And as we were talking before we started taping this segment, everything's changed. You know, Relay for Life has been a fundraiser, a very important fundraiser in our community for many, many years. You know, started out small, went huge and big, and now what's it going to look like this year?
Well, this year, as you said, it's going to be very different. We normally host it in August, but we delayed it just to see where things were going. But we are still going to have the Survivor and Luminaria ceremony. So basically it's going to be different. It's going to be at the Alpena Mall on October 3rd from 7 to 9 p.m. And it's going to be a drive-through Luminaria.
Oh, what a good idea.
So, no, you know, we can't have people get out of the cars because of social distancing and following the executive orders, but we'll still have the Luminaria bags lining the drive-through area where people will be able to at least view them. They'll be lit up like normal. We will also be putting their names on a slideshow, also putting some pictures up on a slideshow, and doing some Facebook Lives on that day. So
what a
we're
great
going to try
idea.
to make it the best that we can make it.
So how do people participate? How do they get a Luminaria? How do they get their loved one's picture on the screen?
So they can email that to me at ajhepburn, HEPBURN at yahoo.com.
Okay.
Luminarias are available at Connie's Cafe or by contacting the Senior Center or stopping by. We're closed to the public, but they can pick it up through the Oval. And then we will be able to set those up, and those are $10.
$10 each. So in memory of a loved one, doesn't have to be someone who passed away because of cancer.
No.
Just a loved one that, you know, you miss and you want to see recognized, and drive through and see their name on a Luminaria as you drive through, and you know, be thankful for the time that you had with them.
Exactly. And we are also still accepting business sponsors, so if they want to do a tribute for $100, they can do that. People can still go online and make donations at Relay for Life Northeast Michigan, and they can make a donation online. The Deer Blind for the relay is at Arby's, and we're selling tickets for $10 a piece right now. And that event the drawing will be on October 3rd at our event that evening. And then we are also doing an online auction right now through biddingowl.com. And that's Relay for Life.
All right, so how can people participate? Will they be able to come that evening and walk through the Luminaria, or do they have to be in a car and drive through?
They have to be in a car and drive through.
Okay.
So we are still recognizing survivors, so when people start driving through, we will ask if there's a survivor in the car. Then we have a survivor goodie bag for them to still recognize them. I mean, people are welcome as survivors. If they want to decorate their cars and make it like a little parade, that would be awesome.
Oh, what a good idea.
You know, any way that people want to remember or honor those individuals that have been touched by cancer. We want to still celebrate them and recognize them. Just because of the pandemic, cancer doesn't go away, and we know that. So, and we still need the research funds for research.
And that's what I was going to ask. What do the funds be used for, Annie?
Research, and then different, I always forget the word that I'm thinking of.
Education for sure.
Trials, you know.
Clinical trials.
Yeah, clinical trials if people want to be or are in those. That's where all those funds go.
Okay. Yeah. So it's very important that no matter what times we're going through with COVID or pandemic, anything, that those funds still come in to help support the American Cancer Society.
Absolutely, because I mean, if we don't do research and we don't have trial opportunities for people, and we may never have cures, but there's treatment options that we can't always have local, and we have to go elsewhere for. So.
Okay. All right, now I'm going to ask you to put a second hat on and tell me about the other walk that you have coming up.
Okay, so on September 26th, Saturday, next Saturday at 10 o'clock at the band shell, we are doing a suicide prevention awareness walk. Suicide is a very touchy topic. It's hard to talk about, but it's so real. And, and I mean, we are seeing numbers of increased suicides right now through the pandemic, and I think that we'll continue to see more. And suicide is something that a lot of people don't talk about. Depression is something a lot of people don't talk about. But I feel that people need to talk about it.
Right, and I feel everyone has depression at some degree at one time or another in their life, and it's not something you can get through on your own always.
No, and it's okay to ask for help.
Yes.
There's help out there, but you know, even comments that you don't think, or you might not think that person can do it, if they're saying it, they're at risk.
Okay. All right, now I'm going to ask you to put a third hat on right now. We've got about 3 minutes left.
Okay.
Alpena Senior Center, I know how sad it is about not being able to be open. I know your seniors need that companionship. They need that face-to-face contact. They need the exercise program. They need all the wonderful things that you provide. But unfortunately, that's the vulnerable population, and you're not able to be open. But you still are serving Meals on Wheels.
We are doing Meals on Wheels, and we are also doing curbside pickup for anybody in Alpena County, 60 and over. They call us around 10 in the morning, and then from 11:30 to 12:30 they can drive through and we will take their meal out to the car.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we're still doing about 5,000 meals a month.
Wow.
And we've seen increase in numbers for Meals on Wheels. In-home services, we're still doing personal respite, homemaking care. We are doing exercise via Zoom.
Are
So
you? Oh, wonderful.
it's on our Facebook page. Anybody's welcome to join that. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 11. So BJ's still doing that. We are looking at starting in October some nutritional, maybe a book club, some education programs on nutrition with the partnership from U of M Flint.
Perfect.
So we are meeting with some students via Zoom to talk about rolling that out. So I'm excited about that. So we're looking at more of the Zoom life, online life right now. We know that not everybody's tech savvy, but please reach out to us. We might have opportunities for some tablets coming up. We're looking at an at-home therapy program starting in October with U of M Flint and Andrew Dubeck. So that will be an opportunity too.
Perfect. And I see you have a huge pile of mulch that was delivered.
Yes. So we are still working in our gardens, making them great for next year, keeping them up. We were able to get some produce this year for our Meals on Wheels and our congregate, and so we're still very busy, even though the people are not allowed to come in, which really saddens our heart. But I really want people to know that if they're sad or lonely or struggling with anything, we are a phone call away at 356-3585. We're there for them just to talk. So social isolation is huge right now, and we don't want people to think they're alone.
Get a copy of that wonderful menu, call by 10 o'clock, and pull up and get a wonderful meal.
Yes, and we started our newsletter up again in September.
Very good. Thank you so much for being here, Annie.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'll be right back with some information from Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary following these messages. Hi, welcome back. My last guest today is Stephanie Gandula from Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Hi, Stephanie.
Hello, Nancy.
So good to have you here. I haven't seen you since all of the COVID stuff started, and you know, you were closed, and you're still closed to the public, correct?
Yes, the visitor center is indeed still closed to the public.
But behind the scenes, are you busy there?
You know, we've been very fortunate to be able to work from home, and I can't believe how busy that we have all stayed. We have been able to do many virtual programs and many webinars, and also doing a lot of planning for when we do get to open the building and we do get to get on the water.
I have to ask this question, and I hate to ask it. What about the film festival?
You know, that is right around the corner, and we're in the middle of figuring out what to do. For sure, we will be able to offer film programming during the film festival, the usual time. So end of January, you're going to start to see some promotion for that, but I'm guessing right now it'll probably be entirely virtual. But stay tuned for, we'll definitely have virtual for sure, but stay tuned for maybe some opportunities, just depending on how things go across the system and how things go with our community. Maybe we'll be able to do some socially distanced, screenings, smaller screenings and stuff.
And it was wonderful to see the Lady Michigan out on the water this year.
Yes, and she's still running. For another couple weeks, it will be going. It's just the weather, the wind has been a little crazy the past couple of weeks.
It sure has been.
So that's kept it not going all the time because, of course, you know, you have to safety first.
Yes.
So there's still some opportunities to get out there and cruise on the Lady Michigan. Another exciting activity that sanctuary users can participate in is experiencing the Great Lakes Maritime Heritage Trail. So that stretches really the whole length of the shoreline. So that's over 230 miles of shoreline. And just this year, just a few months ago, we completed installing a number of signs, so over 100 signs along the trail.
It's on the break wall.
Yes, on the break wall. Doesn't it look great?
I went there last night. I could not believe how many people were on that break wall. It was amazing to me. It was just constant, steady, boom, 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 boom.
Yes, and we know that people are using these outdoor recreational spaces.
Yes.
And so what a great place to have interpretive material about those amazing historic resources under the waves.
I know, and it was so beautiful. The sunset was phenomenal, and the waves were crashing up, and reading the signs and seeing the people. It was like, you know, we take for granted that we live in such a beautiful place, and Lake Huron is in our backyard.
I believe it. I'm just a couple blocks myself from the breakwater, and I love to go down there and look at the waves.
So what kind of virtual programming do you have going on right now, Stephanie?
So right now we're doing everything from regular series on radio stations, but also our webinar series through the Office of National Marine Sanctuaries. We've really beefed that up, and so we recently did one with a Project Ship Hunt student. You remember back in 2011 when we had the Project Ship Hunt documentary?
Yes.
Well, one of the students has gone on to become a filmmaker in her own right. And she shared on a webinar her experiences in Project Ship Hunt and how that shaped what she has gone on to do today.
Amazing.
Which is super cool. Like over 300 people joined that webinar.
Perfect.
And so the really cool thing about the webinars is they're free, of course. You can register, and then if something comes up and you can't make the webinar, you'll get an email that says, oh, this is archived, and so you can still see it. In fact, they're all listed on the sanctuaries.noaa.gov website. And not only can you see Thunder Bay themed webinars, but there's also webinars about whales and webinars, just great resources across the National Marine Sanctuary System for both teachers and students and families. Great things to tune into.
Okay, very good. So even though you're not at the sanctuary, you're busy behind the scenes, there's always things, and even just your website, Stephanie, just if somebody goes to your website, it's phenomenal. It's one of the nicest websites I've ever seen.
Oh, I'm glad you think so, because there's so much material there. I mean, if you think about the fact that we have almost 100 shipwrecks to talk about that have been identified to share their histories and the images and the video, you can kind of go down a rabbit hole looking at all the shipwreck stories on our website. And our Facebook page is another place we like to keep people engaged and interact with folks. So really striving to still be a part of the community, and it's been a lot of fun to look at the different ways we can do that in these uncertain times.
And the Sanctuary store is online?
That's right. That's absolutely right. So there's still, if you can believe that I'm going to say as we approach gift giving season, but it's coming. So you can do your shopping early. Lots of great resources there. Lots of great gifts, gift certificates for the Lady Michigan. If you didn't get out this year, get some gift certificates, make great gifts for next season.
And they're unique items that, you know, that you can't just go in any other store and buy, you know, local items, and, you know, a chance to get some good paraphernalia and get it ready for next year or whenever.
Yes, indeed, indeed. And it all supports the Friends of the Sanctuary, which of course helps with our virtual programming as well, and building up to an amazing program that undoubtedly will happen next year when we're able to interact again in person.
And you know, just like the last guest that was here wearing her 3 hats, you know, every nonprofit organization and group has to keep running, and with the way things are, and, you know, grant funding being eliminated and things gone and things added and taken away, it's really important that people continue to make those donations to Friends of the Sanctuary, and go buy items from the Sanctuary store, you know, to keep it going until we can get back up and running and do all those great things you've always done in our community.
Yes, I'd say more important than ever. And I've been so proud to be a part of this community where people have really been stepping up and looking forward to more and more programs that we can do virtually. So we'll be sharing more info, but the best way to keep up to date, because sometimes it'll be a last minute opportunity where we have a speaker that may have been scheduled in the visitor center and they're like, would love to do a program virtually. And you know, we're losing some audience members that aren't on the computer, but we're also opening it up to people around the world.
Yes,
and
true.
so, I mean, the last webinar I did about climate change communication, we had people from many different countries that chimed in. So that's really neat to see the exposure that the sanctuary is getting and also bringing to our community.
Wonderful. So if someone wants information, the best way to go is your website, and that address is?
thunderbay.noaa.gov. Also check us out on Facebook, Thunder Bay Shipwrecks.
Okay.
And shoot an email to info@thunderbay.gov, and you know, we'd love to hear from you.
Okay, and we'll look forward to hearing about the great lineup for the film festival, because I know you're diligently working on it.
I do have some great films already. Very excited to share.
Okay, thank you so much, Stephanie, and tell everyone we said hello and thank them so much for keeping the wheels turning.
Thank you, Nancy. Great to be here.
Thanks. Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guest this morning Sarah Prevost, director of Trio Talent Search at ACC. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
Wonderful. So what is Trio Talent Search?
So Trio Talent Search is a program hosted by Alpena Community College, and we target students in grades 6 through 12. At the top of our target list are students who come from traditionally low-income families and students who are first-generation college students. So first-generation college student would mean neither parent has a bachelor's degree. We focus on recruiting those students to help them complete high school and then encourage them to apply to post-secondary education.
Wonderful. And you must be in the K-12s in Northeast Michigan to execute this plan.
Absolutely. We are in 18 buildings, actually not in all buildings because of COVID regulations, but 18 buildings spanning from Sheboygan down to Tawas and then over to West Branch and everyone in between.
Wonderful. And what sort of activities would your staff do to identify and recruit and persuade young people, first-generation students, to go to college?
Absolutely. So recruiting looks different, obviously, in each school building and by each advisor, which are on our TTS staff. Recruiting has looked like several incredible things this year just because of COVID.
Sure.
I've had staff members attend football practices, volleyball practices, basketball, because we're trying to find kids where they are naturally, since some buildings we aren't allowed inside because of visitor regulations. Schools who are allowing us inside, we have been targeting the population starting in middle school, 6, 7, 8, as well as the 9 through 12s. And most schools have counselors or career navigators. So they have been really, really helpful with us getting into the building and getting to students and reaching students in their population.
Students in the program, would they receive financial aid or some sort of assistance in their post-secondary education?
Absolutely. So that's one of the many things that we provide to students who are in the program. We help with financial aid, scholarship searches, college admission applications. We have fee waivers that cover the cost of college applications, as well as helping students cover the costs with fee waivers for taking the ACT and SAT tests.
That's great. And you said you were in 18 schools.
18, which is incredible.
That is a lot of K-12s.
It is. It is.
So you would be dealing with roughly how many students?
Over 1,200. We still have a lot of recruiting to do this year to make up for the seniors who graduated last year. So we are hoping to get the word out there to parents, to communities, what a great program it is, and encourage them to also seek out staff within their school or us through whether it's the college Facebook page is a good way to reach us, any sort of social media, or they could contact our office direct by calling the college.
I see as I walk down the hall toward your office these wonderful photos of students who have been through the program.
Yes, so those are students who are featured in our Access magazine, which is published quarterly, and we like to feature a middle school student as well as a high school student who have had success with the program. We interview them, provide a photo, and then we have also tried to follow up with alumni of the Talent Search program just to see how college is going and ask if they could give any advice to our current students. Which is also part of the program. We do a lot of peer mentoring, whether that be with high school students currently, with younger students within their building, alums with seniors, just any students who can offer advice and real world experience about the program.
That's a wonderful touch, that that peer modeling or tutoring or mentoring, I think, has a lot of impact. What do your alumni say about the program, and where have some of them gone and succeeded?
So I'm relatively new to the program. Obviously, I just started in July. But with talking with students, they usually start off with a Trio Talent Search can save you money, so join.
Sure.
They really talk about, you know, the fee waivers. It's $70 to take an ACT or SAT test, and if you want to do that multiple times for hoping for a higher score, that can get costly. So usually their number one thing to their peers is talking about the fee waivers, and then they also talk about the field trips that we take to college university campuses. Obviously, that's not something that's currently happening with closed campuses, but we're hoping in the future we can continue to take students to the universities so they get a real live feel of what a campus is, if it might be a good fit for them, and what college life looks like away from home.
Yes, that's a great point. In COVID, we're not doing that now, but in the past, the program has.
Absolutely.
And I think have gone to Lake State, down to Central, some other schools.
Yep, they've done Lake State, Michigan Tech, Northern, Central, U of M, Michigan State,
Really?
Ferris, Grand Valley. I mean, we try to cover most of the regions, so students really get a fit of, do I need a small town campus because I've grown up in Alpena, or a smaller community, or can they handle college life on a larger campus?
Yeah, what a wonderful thing to show them what, and of course they can come to Alpena Community College, which is what we want them to do.
It's never a bad place to start.
Absolutely.
Especially with the savings aspect that our mentors always talk about.
Yes, it sounds like you have a pragmatic bunch there, and a pragmatic person would see ACC as a good deal.
Absolutely.
So you are just starting here. You're in what, your first 3 months of the job. How's it going?
It's a lot to learn. It's a big job, but it is so exciting. I'm thankful for coworkers who have been there longer than I have, because they are my greatest asset. They are really teaching me the ropes and allowing me to also learn through shadowing them. So kind of what we teach our students.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's very true. That's insightful.
Yeah.
What's your take on the college?
I love the college. I am an ACC alum, so I will never have anything bad to say about ACC, but everyone there is so friendly, so helpful. It's just really a warm, family-like atmosphere, which is very comforting, especially to new people or first-time college students. It's not as scary as you anticipate it to be.
Very good. Well, we have about 30 seconds left. Anything you want to, last thoughts you want to share with the viewers?
I just want them to know that we are still accepting applications. So if they are interested in their child being a part of this fantastic program, please reach out, seek us out through the school, through the college, and we'd be happy to meet up and get an application in their hands. Very good. Sarah, thank you very much for what you do for ACC. Thank you, Don. And thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host, Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.